Hey guys, it is Forge here and welcome back to another episode of All the Mods 10. And as you can see, I have done some more decorations to the base. Namely, I've added this path in here and I've added a path going all the way up to the barn we built last episode. I've also added this kind of gazebo thing here for our waystone to go into. And if we go ahead and take a look at it from up here, you'll see the base is really starting to come together. I had to kind of move this stuff over. We do need to find a more permanent home for it, and also the Naturesaurus stuff over there. But to get started today, I would like to add yet another building, and that is going to be our workshop for all our create stuff, because right now it's just sitting here and it's looking really ugly. So I think I want to go ahead and get all of that set up, and then we'll get some more advanced create stuff set up after that. So I have cleared the area out here, and obviously we'll come back through eventually like most of the base, and we're going to go ahead and put some trees and some shrubbery back. But for now it's all empty, ready for us to paste in with our tool right here. And as you can see, this build is going to look really cool. We're going to have all sorts of machines and rotational force generation within this building. So I've literally got everything together in my backpack other than these planters from supplementaries, and that's because this rich soil is a right pain to get. So essentially you need to craft this organic compost, and then you kind of just place it down in the world, and it just takes a random amount of time. You'll see this one here is ready, and things like placing it next to water, in sunlight, and next to certain blocks, and these blocks are included in that list, will also speed that up. But I am literally just waiting on this so we can get this build all done. Oh my goodness guys, this stuff has finally converted. I've been here for about 30 minutes, and it was this guy here. He did not want to convert, and I could not get him to convert to save my life. And you're wondering why I didn't do anything else. Well, I have been doing some odd jobs around the base, but I could have just built the house and added these later. Well, I'll be honest with you, I don't have a good answer for that. But now that I've got this 4 rich soil, we can go ahead and craft up 4 of these planters, and I should have pretty much everything I need to go now. And here it comes into the world being constructed, and we'll take a good look at it in a sec because I've just got a couple finishing touches to add on. And as usual, I gotta flip all these trapdoors. And here it is. I think this thing looks really cool. I love the slanted roof and then the openness of it. It really looks like a workshop. And I've got to kind of give a shout out because I did use a reference for this, and that was from someone called Sharon Nom. I'll leave a link just down in the description below so you guys can check that out. But obviously I made it my own. But if we take a look around, yeah, as I said, we've got a very open space type vibe going here. Come around the back, we're going to fill this tank up with lava eventually, probably. And then, you know, we've got this chimney that's made completely out of tuff. I really like this. It stands out really well. And yeah, I think it's going to look really cool. Well, I know it's going to look really cool when we stick all the machines in here. I've gone ahead and I've added in the floor to this place as well as the fire. And we'll have more decorations to come, but I want to get the create stuff kind of in here first so we know what we're working around. And for that stuff, we're just going to need most of this stuff here. And the primary thing we want to get is a steam boiler going here to create all of our power or rotational force. But I'd also like to get one of these rotation speed controllers, and that requires us getting one of these precision mechanisms. And to get one of these isn't too bad, just requires a little bit of setup. So we're going to need some of these deployers, 3 to be exact, and we're going to need to go ahead and deploy a cogwheel, and then a large cogwheel, and then an iron nugget onto a gold plate. And then repeat that 5 times, and then we have an 80% chance of getting ourselves a precision mechanism. But we need to go ahead and set up for this, but also for the steam boiler by getting the steam engine and the blaze burners, which we made last episode, so I'll need to make a couple more of those. So let's go ahead and get started crafting this rotation speed controller then. And let's go ahead and just make ourselves a brass casing, which is real simple to make. We just need a stripped log and a brass ingot, and I think we did this for the elevator, so this is real easy to make. And now to do this, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make 3 of these deployers, which aren't too bad to make. We're just going to need to make some more electron tubes. So we're just going to be sandpaper and basically some more rose quartz like so. And then we're going to need some of these brass hands, which are just some brass plates and some andesite alloys. And as we did when we created the elevator, we'll just go ahead and mix up some more brass with some copper and some zinc like so. And let's go ahead and convert this rose quartz into polished rose quartz. That's nice and easy with this sandpaper. I should have everything together now to go ahead and make this deployer. So let's go ahead and make 3 of these brass hands. We've got the electron tubes and we've got the andesite casing, so we've got all 3 of those guys. So now I'm just going to go ahead and crudely set these guys up with depots just for now until we get the final place set up. So let's go ahead and make sure they're all placed in, and we are overstressed once again. So let's go ahead and disconnect this guy, I guess. And with another water wheel added, we are ready to go and spinning. So I just need to go ahead and set up now to go ahead and make one of these precision mechanisms. So if I go left to right from here, I'll go ahead and right click these cogwheels into that slot, these large cogwheels here, and then the iron nuggets there. And now if I go ahead and place this gold plate down here, it'll go ahead and basically print onto it, and you'll see we are now 1 out of 15 in the sequence. So I've just got to basically move this thing along bit by bit, very manually. I'll probably automate this later for when we want to be able to make these a lot easier. So we're on 14 out of 15. Let's see if our 80% chance pays off, and nope, we did not get it. We got some andesite alloy. That is great. And attempt number 2, let's hope this one worked. There you go, we've got ourselves a precision mechanism. So we can go ahead and combine this now with the brass casing and get ourselves a rotation speed controller. And I think I've completed a couple quests to do with this, so let's go ahead and just claim all of this. And now we can go ahead and get all the stuff together for the steam boiler. So I'm going to make 20 of these fluid tanks, and then we're going to go ahead and make 4 of these steam engines, and that should be pretty much everything we're going to need. And maybe that isn't everything, because I do actually need a couple of these blaze burners here, 4 to be exact, and I've got 3 of these from a quest reward, but we'll go ahead and make up 1 more of these, and then we can go ahead and right click on blazes when we go ahead and head into the nether, and it'll convert it into one of these blaze burners. I believe we did this in the last episode, maybe the episode before. And we're also going to need 4 more of these deployers to deploy the actual fuel into the blaze burners, because you can't simply just pipe into them. Let's go ahead and set up this steam boiler, why don't we? I'm just going to go ahead and put it into this hole here. It's kind of going to be styled after my All the Mods 9 one, because I was a big fan of that, and I figure why change it too much if you liked it. So we've got this fluid tank on top of these blaze burners like so, and then we're going to need to put these steam engines in each of these places, and then on top of these guys, to convert them to be able to pull the power out of them, basically we're going to go ahead and place in these shafts like so, and I placed that very much the wrong way. There you go. And now we can extract power out of these bits here. And like I said, we're going to need these deployers facing into these blaze burners. So these front to here will power these ones here, and then this back to here will go ahead and power these blaze burners there. And then finally, we're going to need to go ahead and provide this guy with some water. And I could go ahead and use the create setup, but I did kind of test it out in a creative world, and it was a bit of a pain to maintain. So I'm just going to kind of do this guy, and we'll just have this pulling out of here, and we'll have water going straight into this boiler. And as you can see now, this thing actually starts turning without any fuel here. I think these things create like a little bit of heat. One sec, let me grab my create goggles and stick those on so we can go ahead and see. Yeah, you can see we got a little bit of heat, and we got a little bit of kinetic stress coming out of here. So now I think I'm going to go ahead and set up everything in here rather than out there, and have it all attached to this guy, and also hook up these to rotational power as well. And then we'll go ahead and we'll set up the rotation speed controller somewhere around here, and I'll show you guys how that works. It's been a little while since the last clip, and I have done quite a lot of work in here, so let's take a look at what I've done. As you can see, I've got this thing fully decked out. We've got ourselves some deployers ready to make some more precision mechanisms, along with a belt this time, so I don't have to keep manually right clicking. We've got some more decorative stuff around here, as well as some barrels just for storing some create stuff for now. And you'll see we've got this guy, the steam boiler, fully set up, and it is going. We've got these deployers all set up, and this is all decorated down here, very similarly to my All the Mods 9 world. Back upstairs, we've got ourselves a mechanical mixer, and I just had to use this bellows from supplementaries because I think it just kind of makes sense here. You can go ahead and just right click on this guy, and it'll go ahead and blow air into here, and basically I just wanted to have it as kind of like a cooling thing. You'll see we've got a couple things we need to fill in. We can use these andesite casings, which I've used in a couple other places like here, to actually cover up these shafts like so, and it doesn't actually use them, and it's great because now we can't actually see, you know, all the dirt and stuff around here. And we've also got the mechanical press over here. This guy is looking really cool, as well as the rolling mill from Creates, Crafts and Additions here for making the wires. We've also got upstairs all set up. This isn't too functional, it's more of just like kind of an office in here. We've got the computer from Mr. Crayfish's, although this thing isn't great other than you can kind of play Pong on it. And we've got a generator up here just so we can go ahead and access the computer. So if we go ahead and switch that on, it goes ahead and boots up. Unfortunately, it seems the marketplace is not active at the moment though. And then we've got a clutch here just so we can go ahead and switch off the whole factory if we need to, as well as this rotational speed controller which we are using to kind of control the speed at which everything works. So to use this guy, we can just go ahead and like hover over this little bit here that says 32, and right now this is making everything move at 32 RPM. But if I go ahead and just hold down right click, I can kind of adjust this and also switch the direction just by switching to up here, and you'll see everything starts rotating the other way. But let's just go ahead and switch that back. So we can go really high here, but obviously we'll completely overstress everything because this thing is not currently having coal put into it or any other type of burnable thing. But it does seem we can run everything at 32 RPM without actually having to heat this boiler at all. But I would like to actually set that up next, and we're going to be kind of pulling out of this barrel here to actually input into these guys with modular routers. And I should have pretty much everything in my inventory here ready to go. So let's go ahead and craft ourselves some modular routers. And then for this, we're going to need one of these puller modules. So let's go ahead and make one of these guys just with a sticky piston and one of these blank modules. And also we're going to need one of these distributor modules. So let's go ahead and make a sender module Mark II. Well, we're going to need 3 of them. So we'll just go ahead and make the base level one, and we'll make 3 of those. And then we can just go ahead and upgrade those with ender pills to the Mark II. And then we can combine all of that together with another blank module to make a distributor module. And then on top of that, I would actually like to make some of these speed upgrades. So I'm going to need some of these blank modules, and we're going to want to make 9 of these because that's the max amount you can put into each modular router. And then finally, we're going to want one of these camouflage upgrades. So let's go ahead and make one of these guys just so we can go ahead and disguise this thing so it doesn't look like a modular router is actually there. So we'll put that right there. And now we can just go ahead and plop down this modular router here. We need this distributor module right here, and we'll go ahead and just shift and right click to link it to each one of these deployers, and that should work perfectly. And I think by default this thing is on round robin mode, so we can go ahead and put that in there. Then we'll set up this puller module, and we're just going to have it pulling from the right, and we'll go ahead and stick that guy in there. So anything I put in here now will be pulled out, taken into this modular router, and then distributed amongst all of these deployers. To use this camouflage upgrade, we just go ahead and shift and right click on the block we want to copy. So we're going to be using this barrel in this example. We just go ahead and throw it into this upgrade slot, and you'll see this now just looks like a barrel instead of a modular router. And we can also just go ahead and throw in all 9 of these speed upgrades to go ahead and speed this thing up. And I do also want this thing to only work when the redstone signal is activated, just so if I put anything in here by accident, it'll go ahead and not take it out. And we'll just go ahead and use one of these framed levers and add some andesite onto that. So now we can go ahead and activate it and deactivate it. So now if I go ahead and grab myself some coal and I go ahead and just throw it in here, activate this guy, it'll go ahead and zap it all into these deployers here. And as you can see, these have now deployed into these blaze burners, and this thing is running at a ridiculous rate now, producing 65,000 SU versus the 2,000 before. And I'd also like to add a modular router to this setup here, so we're just going to go ahead and break out this andesite scaffolding, and we'll just chuck it there for a second. And I want to put one right here, so I'm going to need a couple more of these guys, so probably another camouflage module. So there's that guy, and we'll make another 9 of these speed modules as well. And then we're going to need a puller module to go ahead and pull from this chest here again. So there's another one of those guys. And then I'm just going to need one of these sender modules Mark II. So we just combine a normal sender module with a ender pill. And then we're going to want to go ahead and actually link it to this barrel here. So basically we're going to create a loop, but we need to actually create another one of the precision mechanisms. So I can go ahead and blacklist it so it doesn't pull out any of the precision mechanisms. So I've gone ahead and I've crafted up another one of these guys. Let's go ahead and put this into the blacklist of the puller module. So now this won't pull anything out that is a precision mechanism basically. So if we stick that in there, that's not going to work at all. I've also set this camouflage up to the andesite scaffolding, so that just looks like it used to. And now this thing should be fully automated, so we've got it kind of pulling out anything that isn't a precision mechanism and then sending it back to this barrel. So we should see this thing go along. It should get the gears printed onto it and all the iron nuggets and then sent back, and then it should just repeat the process. And this thing seems to be working pretty great, and we should just see this thing being made into a precision mechanism. Obviously, I'm also going to have to add to this filter to stop it from taking like andesite alloy and anything else that can come back as scrap from this process. But now I think this thing is fully done. There's just one more thing I want to add, and that is this safe here, just as a decorative element upstairs. But I'm not going to be able to do that quite yet because I do actually need to get some shulker boxes to be able to make that. So I'll go ahead and add that at another point. Now that I've got my create workshop all set up, let's go ahead and move on to something else. And that something is going to be setting up some better storage, as we've got this all in here, and we also have a load of chests I have to search through anytime I want to find something. And I would ideally like to centralize it all and be able to access it from one location. So to do that, we're going to try and use this storage lectern from Ars Nouveau, and we're probably going to set it up around right here. And hopefully we'll be able to get some wireless storage going as well with this warp index from the Ars Additions mod. To get started with this, we're going to need at least one of these bookworm charms, which we get by augmenting a ritual of awakening, this guy here, on a ritual brazier. So we're going to be getting to that in a minute. And we're also going to need to make ourselves a dominion wand as well as a storage lectern, which are pretty simple to make with the enchanting apparatus. So we just put some chests around a lectern for the storage lectern. So let's go ahead and make that guy up real quick. And there you go, that's that guy all made up. And then we'll go ahead and make this dominion wand with some source gems, some gold, and some sticks. So let's go ahead and put all of these guys down and start that. And that should be that guy all ready and made up. So let's go ahead and get on to the ritual of awakening. I should now have everything to make this ritual brazier. It's just an arcane pedestal, which are just these guys here, some gold, and a source gem block, which is just 4 source gems. So that's all made up. Now we need to go ahead and get the stuff together for this tablet of awakening, and that's going to take some source gems, one of each of the saplings from the mod, and I think one of these flourishing archwood logs it looks like. And there that is. So let's go ahead and grab that guy, and I think we just want to go ahead and activate this over here, and we're going to need to augment it with a book and quill. So if we just go ahead and right click here, and then we need to activate it and then throw. Oh, maybe I activated this before I augmented it. Yep, I might have wasted that. Whoops. Okay, so I've gone ahead and made another one of these guys. So let's go ahead and right click that in there. And now let's throw the book in, and it is now augmented. So let's go ahead and run the ritual. And there is our bookworm charm. And now that we got this stuff all together, let's go ahead and place this storage lectern right here. And then we can go ahead and shift right click this bookworm on here to attach it to this storage lectern. And now to go ahead and connect up all of these drawers to this storage lectern, we can go ahead and shift and right click on this storage drawer controller, and then shift and right click on this guy. And you'll see if we go ahead and right click and access this guy on here now, we can access everything from within those drawers as well as craft with it. And this little guy here can support up to 10 inventories per guy, and you can also go ahead and connect up more bookworms to this just by shift and right clicking again, and you'll be able to add even more inventories. So now that we got this all set up and we can access everything real simply from this central area, let's go ahead and move all our chests over from within the house, and then we'll have everything centralized here. And I'll probably sort out some more drawers as well for some of the more bulk storage stuff, and we'll definitely be expanding up to this area here. So I've gone ahead and I've now added in all of these inventories to the system and basically combined everything up into these drawers as well. So now you can see we have pretty much access to everything from within our system, and I'm probably going to work on this a little bit in between episodes, add some of these compacting drawers and simple compacting drawers as well, which we'll probably go over in the next episode, and also add some more chests up there and increase the size of them just so they can hold a bunch of bulk items. But now what I'd like to do is actually get wireless access to this, and that is using this warp index right here. So we need to get all of this stuff together. So let's go ahead and get started by making 2 of these scry crystals. We're going to need one for the actual craft itself and one to make this enchanter's eye. So we're going to need to get some blaze rods and some ender pills together, and then we're going to need another bookworm charm, so we're going to need to perform another one of the tablet of awakening rituals, and then also we need to get a starbuncle charm, something we've made before to make the Ars Creo starbuncle wheel, which is just some gold and a starbuncle token in a enchanting apparatus, and we have loads of these from collecting them within the world. So let's go ahead and craft up yet another starbuncle charm like so. And there you go, that should all be done. And then to make this enchanter's eye, we're actually going to need a couple more of these pedestals, and we can turn them into platforms also, so it just looks a little bit better. This is more for aesthetics. They do exactly the same thing as the pedestals. But now let's go ahead and set up this stuff along the pedestals, and then we go ahead and put the scryer's eye into the center, and that'll start that ritual. And there you go, we have our enchanter's eye. And then finally we're going to need this mundane belt in the center, so let's go ahead and make this guy, and now we should be able to start our craft. So we just need to place the 4 items in any of these pedestal spots. I'm just going to put them like so, and then we can do that, and we are going to start crafting this warp index. And there you go, we should have access to this guy now, and I think what we need to do is just shift and right click here, and now it is bound to the storage lectern, and we can access this from anywhere throughout this dimension only, I believe, and we need to upgrade it with this stuff to be able to access it from any dimension, but I don't really have a nether star right now. So that is really great. We have managed to condense all of our storage into one building and also make it so we can access it from one point, and we also have really easy access to wireless storage. Didn't I say Ars Nouveau Storage was really simple and really easy? So what we're going to do next is we're going to head off and we're going to find a stronghold, and we'll go ahead and defeat the Ender Dragon. And I was going to try and use this Explorer's Compass, which works similarly to the Nature's Compass, but wow, this thing is expensive in this mod pack, and rightly so, because this thing is very OP, because you can basically type in the name of the structure and it'll just take it to you. It would have been really helpful for finding some end cities in the end as well, but I guess we'll have to do both of those the old-fashioned way with some Eyes of Ender. So I saved myself a ton of time by remembering I actually found this before while I was mining, and I went ahead and I stuck down a waypoint, so we actually found this pretty quickly and without using any Eyes of Ender. So now I just need to kind of explore this place and find the portal frame, and that's going to be a little harder than normal, I think, because this is a modded stronghold and this thing is quite big, as I've explored quite a few of these before, but it should have some decent loot. And here it is. I've gone ahead and filled everything in but one, so let's go ahead and activate it and jump on into the end. Please don't burn in lava. And we are here, and I've got my bow out ready to go, so let's go ahead and spawn this guy in. I think it should spawn in from here. Yeah, there you go. We have started the spawning cycle, so I'll be back with you guys when this guy is all here. So it's basically got to blow up each one of these towers, and then this guy will appear. And the last tower is lit. We should have the Ender Dragon coming in any second. And I obviously won't show this whole fight because I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty similar to the regular Ender Dragon fight. But I'll just go ahead and record as I go anyway. I just need to take out all of these towers, basically. Yeah, Creative Flight makes this way too easy, or even Jetpack Flight makes this way too easy. There's a mod I came across which actually didn't let you fly while fighting the Ender Dragon. I think a lot of these mod packs would benefit from that because it would make the fight a lot harder, because yeah, this is basically really easy. Oh, and I also did forget, I need glass bottles actually to collect Dragon's Breath, don't I? I didn't bring that. We're probably gonna have to come back in and do this again then. Let's go ahead and just finish this fight because this is way too easy. I've always thought the Ender Dragon needed to be a little harder. I mean, maybe in vanilla it is. I haven't fought a vanilla dragon in years. But there you go. We are all done. And we've got our awakened heart over here, or the dragon heart for draconic evolution. And I'll have to come back into here, I guess, and bring some glass bottles next time and respawn him. I've gone ahead and set up a waypoint here now so we can get back and forth real easy. And thinking about it, I could have actually just waypointed back home midway through that fight, so I wouldn't have to respawn it, but I guess we can go ahead and do it again anyway. So I'm back in the end, and I'm just going to go ahead and respawn this guy. Oh, I didn't bring a way to pick this guy up either. That's a bit annoying. But yeah, I'm not going to show you the whole fight again because honestly, it wasn't too interesting the first time, but I'm just going to collect up a bunch of dragon's breath. Oh yeah, the ender dragon has respawned, but cool fact, you can actually use trophies to pick up ender dragon eggs. It works just like a torch. And second time is done, and we managed to get a dragon trophy this time as well, which is really great. So now that I'm done with the dragon, I'm going to do a little bit of exploring throughout the end and get myself some shulker shells to be able to make this safe up. So yeah, let me go ahead and jump on through these portals, and I'll probably only bring you guys in if there's anything interesting happening. Otherwise, it'll probably be pretty vanilla stuff. Well, it turns out something funky did happen straight away. Look at the outer end biomes. Wow, this is called the Shadowlands. This is really cool. There's not too much to this area, but it looks like we have an end city right away at least. Although no boat by the looks of it, but I don't really need an elytra. And the loot in here isn't too bad, I guess. I mean, I've gotten the same stuff pretty much in the overworld, just a couple swords, I guess, really. Okay, well, that gave me a good few shulker shells, but I'm gonna see if I can find one more of these guys and hope he's a little bigger. Well, this is some more interesting generation. Wow, this looks crazy. And oh, another end city. I was about to give up as well, but yeah, we've found another one. That's great. So I am back from the end now, and I've collected up a good amount of shulker shells. We've got 28 to be exact, so we should be able to just go ahead and make this safe up. So let's go ahead and make ourselves a shulker box, and then we go ahead and combine that with a netherite ingot to go ahead and make ourselves a safe, and we can finally complete this building. And there you go, that is the place for the safe up in this little room up the top. And the main reason we went into the end this episode really was because I want to do some Just Dire things next episode, because I'm going to need some of the stuff from it to work on a project I want to do in the future. And I'm going to need some of the Celesta gem to actually do that project. So we're going to need at least this void shimmer goo, which required us getting some endstone and some dragon's breath. And there are other ways of doing it, but I did do those in all the mods 9, like with occultism and stuff, so I figured I'd just head on into the end. So next episode we'll be delving into some Just Dire things as well. But anyway, I think that will do it for this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.